believe it or not, when your kids grow up, they're not going to remember how much salary you were earning. They're not going to remember the type of car you drove. They're not going to remember whether you kept the porch painted or not. The things that kids are going to remember and talk about for the rest of their lives are the fun times that you did together as a family. And so we're going to suggest a few things to help you build a museum of memories.
Hide and seek meals are great fun. They're a great way of turning around the atmosphere at your place. They're also a great thing to do if your kids want to bring friends home for dinner, because you don't have to worry about what you're going to serve them, they won't notice, and you don't have to worry about tidying up because they won't notice that either. So what you do is, when the kids come in for dinner, you give them a clue each, and on that clue is written where they'll find their meal. So it might be under the bed, might be in the shower, might be in the bathroom, might be in the garage. And on the back of the card, you write where they're going to find their dessert. It's great fun. So as I say, no one notices what they're eating, and it's great fun finding what they didn't find about a week later.
Most families have takeaways every so often, but how about going down and eating them in the park in the dark? Little kids don't get out in the dark very often, and it's spooky and scary and fun. We've done this a couple of times, and it's always been marvellous, and we haven't been mugged so far, so that's always good too.
Have you thought about turning your living room into a restaurant? A friend of mine told me this idea, and she said it was a great hit. She decided that, things needed to lighten up at her place. So when everyone came home, she said to them, "Get your best clothes on." They came back into the lounge. "Why, Mum? Where are we going?" She said, "You're going to a restaurant." And then she led them over to the table. She had the lights dimmed, she had the candles on, she had the music playing. They sat down and she said, "Actually, I only had pizza buns to serve," but they didn't seem to notice that. And they all sat there and they had a lovely meal. And as some of the kids started getting louder and a bit bolshy, she said, "Shh. If you're going to act like that, you'll have to go outside. You can't be like that in a restaurant." So they calmed down. They had this lovely meal. And then at the end of it, her older son said, "Mum, can I have a waltz?" She said to me later, "I can't believe I got away with it with pizza buns."
Adventure is always a great thing to stir into a child's memory mix too. So how about camping? Because camping always guarantees adventure. I've slept out with each of my kids now in a pup tent. It's just been in the back lawn, but there's enough wildlife scuffling and snuffling around our compost bin at night to make it quite exciting. The last time we did it, I slept really, really well, from about 1:37 a.m. through to about 1:39 a.m. The rest of the night was pretty uncomfortable, but yes, it was an adventure. We were at a friend's 60th birthday party a while back, and his now adult daughter stood up and shared about how, when she was an 8-year-old girl, she'd wanted to sleep out on the back lawn with her girlfriend. The girlfriend went to sleep no trouble, but she started to get freaked out, and so she came inside to Dad. And rather than have his daughter lose face with her friend, he went out and lay down on the wet grass next to the tent and held his daughter's hand under the edge of the tent until she drifted off to sleep. Isn't that sweet?
It is. Now, you know how kids are dying to open presents on Christmas Eve? Well, why don't you do something that a friend told me about, and that was that during the year you get them some new pyjamas or nighties, have them all wrapped up nicely, and then on Christmas Eve they're allowed to open them. And then when everyone's dressed in their new jammies, you can sit down and perhaps have strawberries and ice cream or something under the tree, and that can become your Christmas Eve tradition.
One of the nice North American ideas we seem to be picking up in New Zealand is the idea of decorating our houses at Christmas time with lights. The only trouble is, with Christmas coming in December, you don't get to see them at their best until 10 or 11 o'clock at night when kids are in bed. And so something we've been doing over the last couple of years is each Christmas, a couple of nights before Christmas, we get the kids up out of bed and we go for a drive around the suburb, looking at all the lights and looking in windows to see Christmas trees and things like this. The kids really love it. Another thing we're doing at Christmas is building a tradition where each year, each child is allowed to buy their own Christmas decoration for the Christmas tree. At the end of the Christmas period, it comes off the tree and into their own box. And as the Christmases are going by, they are building up a collection of their own Christmas decorations. When they eventually leave home, they'll be able to take that box with them to start their own Christmas traditions, while still having a link back to every Christmas of their childhood.
Water fights create great memories. Why don't you do it just within your family, or go big scale and invite another family round, tell them to bring their own ammo, bring a change of clothes, lock the door so no one can wuss out, and let it all happen. Great fun, no one's going to forget it.
If there is a secret to good parenting, it's probably water balloons. If you fill up a whole lot of balloons and ambush them on the way home from school, that will get talked about at your funeral.